So game number 1 is Tofu Hunter. And yes, unfortunately you did hear that right. The main objective is to hunt pieces of tofu. It's utterly ridiculous. You even have to accept a disclaimer acknowledging that there is violence against the tofu in this game. I think it was made by someone with a serious distaste for vegans. But there is light at the end of the tunnel because the game itself is actually surprisingly good. Unlike its ridiculous title, the mechanics of the game are very solid. It's kind of like a Deer Hunter game, but there's a lot of upgrades to get, a ridiculous amount. Each weapon can be customized to pretty much how you want it, adjusting the barrel, the stock, the magazine size and all sorts of other stuff. Tofu Hunter is actually also one of the harder games I've played. About 30 minutes in, the difficulty spikes quite significantly, and it makes for a real challenge and not one that forces you to buy in-app purchases, which is a nice change. Game number 2 is Quadrupus Rampage. Again, utterly ridiculous. It's one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had on an Android device. Basically, you're an alien kind of thing, and you're in a world which isn't really fully explained, but your goal is to get as low down in this dungeon as you can. And this is on the list because it's one of the most rewarding games I've ever played. You can actually upgrade your character quite a lot. You can get new pets, which have different powers, and they accompany you throughout the dungeons. There's Google Play achievements, different skins, which then give you different superpowers. And if that wasn't enough, there's even masteries, which, looking at the list, will take you a very long time to achieve. The mechanics are quite simple. You simply travel down layer after layer in the dungeon, picking up more powerful weapons and making your character stronger. Standard RPG stuff here, but the depth is impressive. To be honest, the game is made even better just because of how odd it is. Every new floor you go onto, you have no idea what to expect. So then we have Not Golf. So essentially it is a game of golf, but the goal here is not to try and get the ball in a hole, but instead to try and hit a pole. And you'd be surprised how much difference that makes. It takes away the need to sort of slow down when you're trying to putt, and it makes for some really satisfying finishes. The game itself is really well designed. In fact, subtle things like being able to touch anywhere on the screen to hit the ball, and being able to hit the ball while it's moving make it a very fluid and fun experience. While there's not exactly too much going on visually, Not Golf looks surprisingly good on a high resolution screen. Now there are a whole host of different levels, and getting below par in one of them will unlock the next one, and they get harder and harder, so you can see how the game really does push you. So then we have Clay Jam, and the concept is fairly simple. You're a sphere and you roll through a series of worlds which get tougher and tougher, and you squash the things that are smaller than you and avoid the things that are larger than you, similar to Agar.io. But then it gets more complicated because at the end of each level, you power up and you try and knock the boss as far as you can, and you can knock it further if you become larger. The game's been getting pretty much constant updates for the last 6 months, so there's more levels than you know what to do with. As with any RPG, there's then a shop, which you can actually go in to buy things like power-ups, things like new creatures that you can squish, which is always fun. So then we have Robot Unicorn Attack number 2. Now when I first looked at the game, I couldn't help but feel like it was designed for a 6-year-old girl, but half an hour in, I think I stopped caring. As far as platformers go, the mechanics are very solid. There's a button to jump, a button to dash, and as you progress further you unlock different power-ups which help you do things like collect the bulbs around you, or send up more powerful attacks to kill enemies. The game doesn't have as much longevity as some of the other games on the list, but nonetheless it's a pretty decent pick up and play title, and is definitely very odd. So guys, that's it for me for now. Thanks a lot for watching, I really appreciate it. If you liked the video, a like would go a long way, and if you didn't, then feedback is even better. So yeah, I think that'll do it. I'll see you next time.